So here is the last video for Southside Electric. What we're going to do is take the ledger amounts, balances, put them over here on the adjusted trial balance, figure out the tax, and then everything will balance up. So I'm in the ledger, 429 through 431. If you're doing paper and pencil version, and you'll need 433 and 434 if you're doing paper and pencil. Now all we're doing is taking these balances from the ledger and putting them over here in the adjusted trial balance. So the first one is allowance for uncollectible accounts, 34, 63, 67. Then we got a few debits in a row. Merchandise inventory, supplies, office supplies, store, prepaid insurance, 1,600, interest receivable, 69.33, accumulated depreciation is 45.45. Accumulated depreciation for store is 16,004. Gonna skip this red one because we don't know it yet. We'll skip down to income summary. Now notice income summary could either be a debit or a credit, depending on what happens with merchandise inventory. In this case, income summary is 1625.94 on the credit side, right? Yep. 1625.94. Depreciation expense for office equipment, 2150. Depreciation expense for the store equipment. Make sure, now remember, make sure you're taking numbers on the balance in column O and P if you're using the computer. The very far right-hand columns in the workbook. Insurance expense, I think, was 9,600. We'll make sure. $9,600. Supplies expense, 2560.08. Supplies expense store, 3843. Uncollectible accounts, 3415. Don't know federal income tax yet. We're about to find it out. The last number, interest income, I believe, is 533.33. Okay, so now you have all your adjustments in. Don't panic, this won't balance, because now we have to find out the tax. Now, if you're in the workbook, flip over to page 432. I've got that simulated over here. Total of the income statement. So, if you're in the workbook, turn to page 434. You want to add up all of those debits and all of those credits. And when you do that, you should end up with 536,948.17 on the credit side, 395, 360.48 on the debit side. So you're going to take these two numbers and bring them back over to page 432. So 536, 948.17 less the debit side. So 395, 360.48. These should be dollar amounts. Those dollars. Okay, so if we subtract those two, here's money coming in, 536. Here's money going out, 395. So we have a net income of 141,587.69 before tax. So now we got to figure out the tax. And what you want to do now is in a textbook, turn over to page 458. There's a tax bracket in there. And then on page 432 in your workbook, you want to bring that number down, that income before tax, 141,587. It's the same number here. And you look at the tax bracket, and if you look at the tax bracket in the textbook, what you want to do is take this number, see where it falls. It happens to fall on the 100,000 minimum tax because we made over 100, but we didn't make over 335. So that's the bracket that we fall into. So how much is subject to what's called a marginal tax? Anything that's over this amount has to get taxed by the next highest rate. So if you look at the bracket again, this tax bracket rate is 39%. So 0.39 times, so 41,587.69 times 39% equals, this should be a dollar sign also, 16,219.20. So we have to add this to the tax that we already paid. The minimum tax amount in that bracket, going back to the textbook again, 22,250. Again, there should be a dollar sign. The marginal income tax, the same number comes down. 16,219.2 dollar sign. I'm gonna make this dollar sign too. So here's what we owe minimum plus this marginal tax, so equals this plus this. We owe $38,469.20 in total tax for the year. So this number comes over to the ledger. Second to last number, federal income tax expense. And you pencil that in, 38,469.2 is how much we owe. We've already paid 32,000. We owe 38,000. So the adjustment is the difference between those two. So if I subtract 32,000 from 38,000, I get 64, 69, and 20 cents. So there's your adjustment. This is the debit. So now you can go up, take the same number, go up or back if you're doing paper and pencil, and we're going to put that number there on the credit side. 6469.2. And that means that's the new balance, 6469.2. Now these two numbers go into the journal, which is back on page, a lot of page flipping here, huh? 427. Okay. 64, 69.2, and 64, 69.2. And the post reference there is 6205 and 2170. Now we can fill in the red numbers. Federal income tax payable balance was 64, 69.2. And the balance of federal income tax was 38, 469. And you can see when you put that in, you balance up 645,531.99 on the debit and credit. So that's it. That means all of this stuff for Southside Electric is done. That's how you complete it. And it only took us 3 weeks to do it. So I'm going to give you the rest of the week to do the same process with Idaho. Idaho has already been started, but hopefully by now, given this stuff, you can always go back and look at this, and it'll be all set for you. You could make a copy and do a file save as, do the same thing with Idaho Adventures, or just reference it back if you're doing paper and pencil. I see a lot of you are doing paper and pencil. So that's it. If you have any questions, you have my cell phone number, text, email, Schoology, whatever you want to do. I'll get back to you. All right. Have a great day.